Welcome everyone to episode 520 of The Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular, obvious broadcast and swolecast and beardcast and shavecast and aviatorcast and coffee cast in the realm. Maybe it's a coffee cast.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to The Daily Swole.
Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thank you for joining me live every day at 12 noon Eastern time right here on Facebook. Remember, you can catch all the episodes on YouTube. Just go to YouTube at Swolenormous and listen to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Catch all these episodes as a podcast. Just go to SoundCloud or iTunes, type in Swolenormous, and you shall find Papa Swolio. Remember, now is a great opportunity if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching, take a screenshot and tag me at Swolenormous in your vertical Instagram story. Remember, it's the story, it's a circle at the top where you can kind of Snapchat your way through the day. Tag me with your screenshot in your Instagram story and tag me at Swolenormous, and I will hit you up because it will message me directly. Let me know that you tagged me in your story, and then I can slide into your DM and then maybe even give you a shout out in mine. Beautiful day in my world. It's a beautiful day in your world as well, Becky. I got my coffee. We are here because it's your choice. It's on you, and that is today's title. But it's also open Q&A. It's Sunday Funday, so you're able to ask questions about anything. We will shoot the shit, and I will answer as much and as many and as well as I can to the best of my ability. And then we will enjoy the rest of this Sunday apart. And Papa Swolio will leave, and I will slink back into the Swole Cave, never to be seen again. Right now, honoring Tom Petty, listening to some TP, and the questions are open. So today's episode it's on you, and I want to talk a little bit about cheat meals. I want to talk a little bit about diet at first, just to kind of clarify that it's really up to you. It's on you. And a lot of when I am harsh, when I'm strict, when I say eat this way, don't eat that crap, it's poison, not only is it true, but it's also up to you to take the seriousness of that. So do you have to eat completely organic and super strict all the time? The answer is no, but you may have consequences as a result. There is a lot to be said. There's a lot to be said in this world for how serious you want to take your goals. If you're struggling, if you have challenges, if you are extremely overweight, you don't have as much slack as someone, I would say, like myself. And that's not saying that one person is better than another, but once you have momentum with health, you can cheat, or you can back off, or you can enjoy life, however you want to say it. But it's all relative to the damage that you're aware that it's doing to your body. We underestimate how much even a small amount of a bad food does to our body. And there's some math that I'm going to be doing this week that's very interesting when you conceptualize it as such. But it comes down to you. It's up to you. Your results are up to you. What you feel like you can, quote, get away with, or what you're willing to put up with as the consequences. And that's the real thing, is that every action has consequences, which might seem obvious on the surface, but every action with nutrition, what you do with your body, what your body reacts to, what the inflammation and the issues your body has to solve and fix and react to, these are the things that cause diabetes. These are things that cause heart disease. But what are you willing to put up with? And is that a risk you're willing to take? So it still comes down to you, you know? And because I still get people messaging me, well, just because one thing or once a month, like yesterday, that video I put about the pizza parties. Well, once a month isn't bad, blah, blah, blah. It's really bad for a lot of people. It's really bad for a lot of people, and it's a risk and it's a temptation that for an addict is really, really bad. Once a month, once a year is too much. So you have to put that into perspective. For you or for me, I might be like, okay, there's pizza in the gym. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to eat it. But most people don't have that kind of willpower. And why even go there? Why even go there in the place where people are trying to change? So It's up to you. It's up to you. The consequences, the result of your actions is all up to you. It's up to you to deal with the consequences and to, just don't make reasons and excuses for eating like shit. That's the thing. 1 month can kick off a bad cycle. Absolutely. 1 month, 1 day can kick off a bad cycle. What if you're actively bulking? People mistake bulking for healthy. Bulking's not healthy. Bodybuilding, the profession, the sport's not healthy. Extreme weight gain, extreme weight loss is not good for the body. Just not, cut out dairy and accidentally had some the other day and I felt it. Yeah, you realize how bad it is for your body. And just think, that's how your body was reacting all the time when you ate it regularly. You just didn't feel the difference because your body countered it and defended itself against it. But that's bad. That means your body is actively under stress. Anytime you have inflammation as a result of food, even if it's small, your body goes into an inflammatory state where it stores more body fat, where it releases hormones, cortisol and stress hormones. That happens. I mean, we're talking about people that do that kind of stuff and then complain about the little body fat at the bottom of their stomach. Where do you think cortisol, where do you think these hormones end up storing body fat? What's going on? A Papa Swolio, Oliver, if you carve, Oliver, I'll tell you what, bro. You're gonna get a lot of publicity if you do a Swolenormous pumpkin or a Papa Swolio pumpkin. That'd be epic. That'd be epic. Maybe is that the challenge? The Papa Swolio pumpkin challenge? Who can carve the best Papa Swolio pumpkin? I like where your head's at. Tommy, sorry, I saw this before. What'd you think of Mr. O? I didn't really follow too much. The guts have to go, though. I think they're absolutely right on the gut front. Guts went away for a little bit, now they came back. People don't bulk at Planet Fitness. Might as well give donuts for the AM workout. Yeah, it's really not much. It's really no difference. It's processed dough. Hello, beautiful people. Hello. It's like asking a child if they eat a brownie with just a little poop in it. If they couldn't taste it, it's bad for you, period. Just a little poop. Just a little poop. A little bit of a poop brownie. No more music. Bulking is bad, and how can I gain weight and health? My point is, like, bulking by eating junk food is not... bulk... Guys, understand that all of this is superficial. These are defense mechanisms that our body is built to have, to put on fat for the winter when we don't have access to food and we have, there's no fruit on the trees, we can't grow things. Like, that's why your body puts on fat, and we burn fat so we can use energy that we stored when we don't have food available when we're hunting. Like, that's what our bodies are designed for. Our bodies are not meant for aesthetic, like, oh, I want to gain 15 pounds so I can impress the girls, for example. That's not what the body is actually designed for. Can you do that? Sure, but there's a lot of reason why the body resists gaining that much muscle or losing that much fat, because it's designed to store fat and keep it there for an emergency, and it's not designed to add on extra muscle because there's usually not that much food around to provide that excess calories. Everyone, let me put it this way, the bacteria in our system and the way our bodies are designed are millions of years old, and these new lifestyle habits are like 100 years old or 50 or 20 years old. Our bodies are still ancient, and we're living in this whole we're in this way of life in this society today that we're trying to manipulate the body and get things done quickly, and everything, all the systems are archaic, like the pyramids and hundreds of thousands of years before that. So our bodies are old. Our bodies are old, and we're trying to get it to do modern stuff. That's the conflict. What's your opinion on 3-day refresh? What is a 3-day refresh? That's a brand of something, so I don't know about what I don't know what you're talking about. A 3-day, it depends on what you're doing. Why is some people difficult for me stop eating? What? Why is it difficult to stop eating? Because it's addictive. It's habit. Mental block regarding cutting. Cody, I started lifting 2.5 years ago. I made considerable gains, but have not cut once. So I am strong, gained a ton of muscle mass, but borderline obese. Also, it gets cut off. That's a long question. I don't know if I saw the whole question because I only saw up to the word obese. So you're borderline obese because you got fat. I'm strong, gain tons of muscle mass, but borderline obese. So if you're borderline obese, then you're overweight. So I mean, obese is very, very overweight. You're lifting 2.5 years ago, so would you like bulk too much, eat too much junk food? And 2.5 years is nothing when it comes to lifting. You've been lifting no time at all. Like 16, 17 years, like you just started. You just started training, bro. How much time do you recommend for healing? What do you mean healing? You guys gotta be more specific with your questions. Like healing what? Like, did you cut yourself? Like after a workout, after an injury? You guys gotta be more specific with your questions. Keep them short and direct. Like what information do I need? Just because sometimes the questions are too long and it gets cut off, or it's too vague and I can't answer it. From Beachbody, Dwayne, I don't know their 3-day refresh program. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything. Any of these diet cleanses, refresh things that you're gonna find out there, it's probably very limited amounts of food, restricted calories, and maybe some drink that they give you. I don't know what it is. You could just start eating healthy. I mean, if you think that's what you need, but I don't care about the 3 days. I care about the 300 days after that. Like, what are you doing for the entire year after that refresh? Do you have a plan in place? You're just doing like a 3-day, cleanse, refresh. Dude, fast for a day. That's a refresh right there. Just stop eating. You can do a fast. You can do a fast, just drink water, or do a protein fast, or don't eat meat for a couple days. Just go vegetables. Just eat tons of vegetables and salads and get rid of like all the meat for like a day or two. Like, you can go without meat for a few days. You don't need meat every day. So you can do different kinds of fasts and cleanses, but what are you doing after that? Like, what are your plans for after being fresh every day? Ooh, I like it. What coffee do I drink? This is just, this is a local organic coffee. But I blended. I put I went bulletproof. I'm bulletproof today. Can you guys hear the Tom Petty? Can you hear the TP? What's up, Romualdo? I just moved to New Zealand and I'm really struggling emotionally. Had to leave behind all my friends and extended family. What do you recommend to stay positive and motivated? Well, Sam, good question. Those are like the emotional psych questions that no one really addresses when it comes to fitness. It's like, how do you stay motivated and positive and stay active and stay up? Because you kind of have to be up here when you're being physically fit. You don't want to be low and depressed exercising. You associate that with, wealth and health. So if you have friends and family, what's great is you still have the internet. Why don't you Skype with them? Why don't you do FaceTime? Do like a daily FaceTime or a weekly FaceTime and see. Don't underestimate the technology. It's not just calling and texting. You can see people. It makes a big difference when you can see their faces. Not to mention, you got the online community. Like, you can find a lot of communities online or local hobbies or things you can get involved with. That was a burp. Vladimir, we in the U.S. Navy support you, brother. Nice. Here's a flex for those who serve. Flex for the Navy. Let's get the Marines, the Air Force, Army, Coast Guard. Get them all in there. Thanks for serving, fellas. Appreciate your service. So thank you if you're watching with your boys. Thank you. U.S. Navy. What? How do you cook sweet potatoes to remove lectins? You don't have those in sweet potatoes. Just bake them. You don't have to worry about that in sweet potatoes. Just bake them. I just bake them. 400. I don't believe sweet potatoes have any. They're not a concern for that. If you're avoiding lectins, you don't have to worry about them. I'm not sure about the content before, if they just get cooked off in baking or none exist. But that's on a lectin diet, on a lectin removal diet. Sweet potatoes are okay. Just bake. I just bake mine. Mesomorph equals motivation. Well, you get a good pre-workout and caffeine. Yeah, that can be pretty motivating. Can you guys hear the Tom Petty? I tried to make bulletproof coffee at work. Dunkin', it destroyed the foam cup. Ooh, don't put hot coffee in comb. Get a cup or a little container. Do not put coffee in foam. You don't want to drink You don't want to drink styrofoam. Oh, I hate when they give me a foam cup. I tell them to give me a new cup of coffee in like paper or something. Yeah. I mean, just get one of those like coffee mugs, like those little containers, you know, the closable mugs, and bring it there. And like, if they can just pour it directly in there. Hello from Texas. Thanks for, you're welcome, Joseph. Be safe in Texas. Hope you're doing all right. I'm late. Excuse ya. Are frozen veggies bad because of preservatives? That's a good question. I don't know about the preservative content in veggies. I don't know what they're doing now. Does anyone else know? I don't know because when you freeze something, you don't necessarily need preservatives. It depends on how they're cleaned. I mean, sometimes some vegetables are cleaned and they're, rinsed. I mean, it depends on the company. Is organic? Are they organic? I mean, organic products can use sprays that are organic. So, I mean, they still spray them with stuff, but it's like different, breakdown times and different breakdown to the environment times. So, I mean, organic is only healthy to a point. I mean, here's the thing. If we didn't spray food with anything, like if we didn't spray crops with something, we wouldn't have food because bugs would eat it. So, there's that fine line between, okay, I want to eat all natural stuff and all organic and this, that, and the other. But there's also like, there wouldn't be severe food shortages if we didn't spray foods. That's where we're at now in our society. Like, things are genetically modified and sprayed with pesticides, but I think what we don't realize is that vegetables and things would be like $50 a pound probably if we didn't spray them with stuff. Like, we would have severe food shortages and most of us would die if we didn't do that, because there's too many people in the world. There's too many people in the country. There's too many people to feed that don't produce food. Like, we're all just like sucking off the economy. Like, we complain about stuff, but we do jobs that don't produce anything valuable. We do jobs that don't make things. We like pass around, stocks and currency and stuff, but we're not like creating anything in the environment. So we're just draining it. We're just draining food. And flex for Texas will do. Love you as well. Lots of love here on the Daily Swole. Hola, or hello. I thought I said hola. Hello, Papa from Minnesota. I like the accent over the A. Papa. Papa Solio. We should make it very Italian. Papa Solio, eh? A meatball. A meatball. Spicy meatball is a Papa Solio. Ciao, Papa Solio. What are your thoughts on pork other than bacon, like tenderloin? You got to get good sources of it. Pork is like notoriously like a more, I guess, dirtier meat. It's hard to get, high quality. I mean, if you can get a good source, you can order that kind of stuff online. But locally, I'd be careful about that. I mean, bacon's not automatically good. They could put preservatives, and they could put a lot of, the animals are still low quality if you get like run-of-the-mill bacon like that, like Oscar Mayer stuff. You're gonna get like mass-produced stuff, but you can get stuff from little farms and stuff. You can order it online and everything like that. Sweet potatoes with Frank's hot sauce rub is awesome. You're starting to push the healthiness of sweet potatoes out the door there, bro. Don't ruin them. Frozen veggies just fresh. Yeah, I think too scared to try Mesomorph after Mr. Hyde tried to kill me. I remember trying that before. I didn't really like that too much. Mr. Hyde, I didn't see that. I thought it was all right. Yeah, if that was bad for you, I wouldn't go Mesomorph. Do you recommend growing your own food? Sure, if you have the time and the ability, why not? I mean, if you live in an apartment, it's kind of hard to grow your own food. I mean, you could do like that you can like get one of those like wall units outside if you have a porch, but most people, I mean, the quantity of food that you're going to be able to grow is going to be so small compared to probably how much you're going to be eating. A lot of people don't have the ability to do that or the wherewithal to maintain it. Yeah, I think frozen vegetables are mostly just frozen. Does glutamine and leucine actually, those things are found in food. So, of course they do. They aid in muscle healing and recovery because they're found in food. Leucine's a branched chain amino acid, and that's found in food and protein. Glutamine's good for the gut and for the intestines, like how much it helps with, muscle healing and recovery, like with actual supplementation. You have to check the latest research. I'm not up to it. on that. I used to take that stuff. I used to take glutamine and BCAAs and all those individual powders, and I don't know, I feel pretty good and I feel fine, strong, whatever without them. So I don't know if taking them is really worth your money or time. Just from my personal experience, I don't want to spend money on that stuff anymore. Almost everyone can grow basil, thyme, mint. Sure, you can get those pots at the supermarket. Essential oils for health, I'm sure they're fine. So everything, a lot of things you all are asking me. You're asking me like fringe science, or specific. I want to say extremes, but so if you're asking about, like, let's say essential oils for health, that's a whole study in itself. A lot of people go real hard with like all the oils and the diffusers and everything, and that they have like degrees on that. They do certifications on aromatherapy, and even put it on your skin and whatever you're talking about, how you would use your the oils. You didn't get specific, you just mentioned it, but yeah, things from the earth, a lot of things are healthy. A lot of things are healthy, or like when extracted and concentrated, there could be a lot of benefits. I mean, from where I've seen and where I use essential oils, I mean, I think they're great. I think smelling things and having good things in the air, purifying the air and all that stuff I think that's real. But that's like a little bit more down like a path where I'm not an expert on essential oils, but I do take some creatine, glutamine, but I agree, I'm not 100% if it's worth it. It's hard to quantify supplementing with creatine or glutamine or BCAA. It's not like you take it and like, yeah, I feel great, or, oh, I didn't get sore. Maybe you didn't work out that hard, or you were hydrated better. So, it's just harder to quantify those. With the music back on, it's just harder to quantify those supplements. Obviously, if you're, taking something like anabolic steroids, you're gonna know. Like, you're gonna know, wow, I feel stronger and X, Y, and Z. But if you're just taking like a little over-the-counter glutamine, you're not gonna be. It's not gonna be a night and day thing. I think people think it's gonna be like, wow, I'm gonna get huge from it. It's hard to say. How do I remove my carb obsession from my life? You gotta supplement it with the proper fats. You're not eating enough fats, and you're probably eating the bad carbs. You need to start eating real food, veggies, salads. I would look into a high-fat diet because you'll be more satisfied and you won't crave the carbs as much. You just do, Sarah. You just do. There's no method like, oh, you do it a certain way. You cut it and you start eating better foods. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't eat a lot of fat and all of a sudden you go to eating tons of fat, you can get some indigestion. So you want to add that stuff in pretty, quickly, but you want to ramp up into it. Start adding a lot more avocados and coconut oil and MCT oil and olive oil, and start cutting down on all those carbs. Focus on sweet potatoes, better carbohydrate choices, like that. What are your thoughts on protein powder like whey gold standard? I wouldn't take it. I spend so much money on those protein powders. Like, they don't really digest well in your system. A lot of them are from whey and can cause you issues, or they have artificial sweeteners and artificial ingredients. So, you don't necessarily need that for your protein source. You could spend your money on high quality proteins. You also don't need as much protein as the fitness industry pushes on you. You don't need a gram per pound of body weight or any of that crap. You need more carbs and fat. You don't need as much protein as you think or that you're told. So protein powder, you don't necessarily need a supplement because you're going to get plenty from the foods you normally eat. Yeah, if you feel addicted to carbs, it's because you're just used to eating carbs. Your body has habitually processed carbs. The bacteria in your intestines are surviving off carbohydrates, off sugar. So it's the habit you have to break. Women should lift super heavy, 3 to 6 reps max to muscle failure. Women should lift super heavy. Women should lift weights. 3 to 6 reps is nothing like a requirement. I don't know where the hell you saw that. Should lift super heavy? Women can lift super heavy. They should lift weights. 3 to 6 reps, that's an arbitrary number. You should lift to muscle failure. Sure, why not? Do 8 to 10 reps. Do 12 reps. You only do 3 to 6 reps. You can. Over time, you'll gain those adaptations of more of a powerlifting look. Over time, possibly. But I need to use my arms the next day. Thoughts? So don't work out that hard. I mean, it depends on what you need to use your arms for. You also get used to it. If you're sore, you're sore. Don't do as much volume. I need to use my arms the next day. Although after workouts, the amino acids worth the $60 they sell it for? No. Food's a great replacement. Amino acids, they're found in protein. You can eat food and get them. You said my name. Avocados. Cheese from grass-fed cows, okay to eat, or should they be cut? If you're trying to lose a lot of weight, I would cut all dairy. There's really no need to have dairy. But yes, the cheese from grass-fed cows is not something you should be eating. Most of the cows in this country produce that inflammatory A1 casein protein. You need to look for specifically like Southern European cows or goat cheese or goat dairy or sheep. Because A1 producing cows produce more milk and grow faster, and it's better for money. So, but people have more trouble digesting. If you have a lot of dietary issues, like you're trying to lose weight and you have problems, just cut dairy. It's simple. Just get rid of it all, and then you can use the elimination diet process of adding in proper dairy products that might not bother you as much, or they might after you do the elimination. So if it's bothering you, it doesn't matter where it comes from. That's the thing. So if you're getting, the best cheese or the high quality one and it's blowing up your stomach, it's not good for you. It doesn't matter. Fats and proteins. What are you confused with fats and proteins? Healthy fat for you is healthy fat for me. Avocado, olive oil, coconut oil. Grass-fed pasture protein sources, you get them from vegetables as well. Sweet potatoes have protein. All these things have protein in them. You'll get complete proteins if you eat them all. All right, fam, thank you so much for joining. What a good Q&A session. Love it. Spaghetti squash, I don't eat it. I thoughts on it? I don't think much on it. I'm not sure if that's on the approved list. Squash, I never really eat squash. I've had it before. I personally didn't find it bothered me, but it could be something that is an allergen to you. Avocado and tuna mixed together is awesome. Interesting. Michelle, I'm starting at 300 pounds. Will I be able to do the 90 dash? Yes. There's no impact in the 90-day dash. It's a lot of mobility and flexibility and stabilization at first. And you can repeat the earlier workouts over and over again before moving on if you find them too challenging. So you just do what you can as much as you can and keep to the schedule. And you can even repeat the first intro week over and over again until you feel comfortable to move on. So yes, it's not weight resistant. If you're over a certain weight, doesn't mean you can't do it. You just might be limited with what you can do. Just do your best and modify things and be as consistent as you can. It's about being consistent and changing your food intake. So, the deal with all those foods, sometimes they're super specific to you. Remember, if you're consuming a food that's a natural product, there's some schools of thought that might say that because it's not grown at the right time of year because it's a certain type of vegetable that it might not be good for you. That could be true. You're not going to know if a food is good for you unless you eliminate it for a while, if you've been consuming it regularly, and then adding it back in very slowly, one day at a time, after several weeks to see your body's sensitivity. You're not going to know for sure. And if it's bad for you, if we say it's bad for all humans and we all agree, it doesn't mean that you're going to have a massive allergic response. So you don't know until you test these things yourself. And it's important to do that and do those elimination diets and do the elimination process, because then when you add certain foods back in, you'll notice that bloating or that gut feeling or the achy feeling or the depression feeling. You'll notice those things and realize, that food is not good for me. And that's how you customize your diet. Because there's a lot of problems that we get from nutrition that don't have to do with weight gain or weight loss. It has to do with mental approach, quality of life, and and even mood. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 520 of The Swole. Remember, if you're listening to the podcast or you're watching it live, take a screenshot right now and upload it into your vertical Instagram story and tag me at Swolenormous, and you'll get a DM from me and also a chance to be used and shouted out in my Instagram story. So every day live at 12 noon Eastern time right here on Facebook, YouTube at Swolenormous, SoundCloud and iTunes for the podcast, and also follow me over there on Instagram. Remember, take a screenshot of the podcast or the video that you're watching and tag me at Swolenormous in your vertical Instagram story, and I will shout you out in the DM and possibly in my Instagram story. Cool way to build some community and to show the love. So thank you so much for joining episode 520. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose. Flex them if you got them. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Love you. See you tomorrow.